keep your voice audible. Keep your voice audible. Your voice is a very important tool as a public speaker. It's important to keep your voice audible. There are quite a number of exercises that you can try. Take, for example, here's a stylus pen. You can look for any kind of pen. So, one of the exercises you can do to keep your voice audible is you can keep the kind of pen in your mouth and continue talking so that people can still hear you. Now, that's an exercise. And if you do that, one of the things you're trying to achieve is to make sure that there is vocal clarity. You can also use tongue twisters. Example of a tongue twister is Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. 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 When you do that repeatedly, the idea behind it is, number one, you may make mistakes the first time you try it. You're supposed to speak fast at some point. Try it repeatedly. You notice that over time you may become very good with it. But if you're not very good at it, you keep making mistakes and everything, but over time you get better. So you can try it. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. 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 Try it, see how fast you can go with that. It helps with your voice. Now, the part of vocal clarity is the part where I will address my brothers and sisters who do not have an international passport, yet have an international accent. Please, if you don't have an international passport, you have never been to Murtala Mohammed Airport before, where did you pick international accent from? The most important thing is not your accent, it's the clarity. You can speak clearly that people would hear you, people will understand you, people would love the way you talk without you having an accent. And I've seen some people having an accent, they think they have a British accent, but what they have is not British accent. What they have is Abule accent mixed with a touch of maybe visiting, that kind of a thing. There's a difference between British and Abule accent. And I'm wondering, is this person confused? No. And somebody says, oh, I have an American accent. No, what you call an American accent isn't an American accent. It's a kind of accent that we didn't see it on time. We should have just taken you quickly to psychiatric hospital, because this way you're talking is not normal. Or maybe that there's a problem with your tongue. We should have helped you raise your tongue, use knife to open it under so that your voice can become clear. But you notice that there are some of these accents, or there are some of these tongues, a deep fall on the road or into a ditch can change this accent back to default setting, or a koboko on the back can change the accent back. Then you now say, if you have an accent, no matter what happens to you, the accent remains. So please focus more. And I know Nigerians like people who do, when they are speaking, they do spaces. People like that a lot. But when you're talking, it's important to focus on how well you pronounce the words compared to how nice it sounds to the ears. So there's nothing wrong if you have an accent. I don't have a problem with your accent. But if the accent isn't natural, if you're trying to form to impress us, please pay more attention to pronouncing words correctly rather than trying to impress us with an accent that you don't have. So one word, for example, let me tell you how you know that many of these people who think they have an accent do not really have an accent. Take, for example, the word is schedule in British language, and you get to that point, you now say, oh, I want to check my schedule, because you don't know the difference between British and American language. So you tell us you have a British accent, but you're pronouncing schedule, whereas Britons do not say schedule, they say schedule. And then you get to a point, you now say Iran, Iraq, and all of that, and you say you have an American accent, whereas what the American would have said is Iran or Iraq and stuff like that. So there are words you clearly don't know how they are differently pronounced in all those different countries. So it's important. Pay attention to, make sure we are hearing you. For example, when you stand in a room and you speak, what you should do is to project to the point where the last person at the back of the room must not be straining to hear you. If the last person at the back of the room is straining to hear you, then there's a problem and you need to quickly address that. So we don't want a situation where the last person at the back of the room is straining to hear you. So